We are now talking to our friend, Baylor freshman offensive lineman, Tate Williams. Tate, what's going on, bud?
Oh, not much. How y'all doing?
We are good, my friend. We haven't spoken to you in 2 years. It's been a long 2 years. You were a top recruit. How you been over there in Baylor?
Oh, doing all right. Just getting to work down here. Hot East Central Texas, wherever we're at down here. But it's been coming together well. Team's looking good. Everybody's meshing together well, including the new guys that just came in. Got a couple new old linemen that are looking good and pretty good guys. So
What is it like, obviously, playing with guys the same size as you? When you come from high school, you're the biggest guy, you're the strongest guy. You throw around guys like they're like towels, and then you go over there and you're playing college football with arguably some of the best players in the country, and they're doing it to you. What is it like playing with guys the same size as you?
definitely an ego check coming from a small school. You're kind of on top of the world, and then you get here and everybody's just as good or better than you. But it's also a lot of incentive to work harder. You want to be that guy that you were 2 years before. I think it's a good thing because it makes you want to be better and want to be the best.
So you had a memorable first season at Baylor, even though you didn't play a lot. Big 12 champions you guys were. They beat
Yes.
Oklahoma State, kept them out of the college football playoff. Very close, on right at the 1 yard line. Jalen Warren almost ran it in for the upset, or for sealing the deal at that point. So what was that? Just some of the memories of that season like?
That was last season was something else. I think everybody on the team being so close played a big part in it. Everybody was able to count on each other, both sides of the ball, and especially after that Big 12 game, the energy was just electric, and I don't know, it was definitely something I'll never forget.
As everybody knows, we are talking to Baylor freshman offensive lineman Tate Williams. Now, obviously, Tate, a lot of these offensive linemen, even in the ones in the NFL, they don't speak a lot. Nobody really has that crazy personality. And Mekhi Beckham, obviously over here in New York, he's been the quiet one, and that's why people get upset. What type of player are you on the field? Are you a guy that likes to speak, likes to be the comedy clown in the locker room for the offensive lineman? I mean, that offensive line, when it comes to being in that room together, who is the funny guy in that room? And are you one of those guys that are going to be that leader type of guy that's not going to care and just be yourself type of person?
I think the comedian of the group would have to be Mose Jeffrey. He plays left guard, and I think he's going to come in for Xavier Newman this year. But he's a pretty funny guy. He's always got some joke come in with, and just got a real light personality. Always got something funny to say. And me in general, I tend to be more like the kind of the hype man. Kind of
Really?
keep people rolling whenever we're getting into a tough workout or a tough summer grind. I try to be the one to pick people up and keep them going.
So speaking of personality, your coach definitely has a lot of it too. And Dave Aranda, carrying over from the LSU national championship team where he was the defensive coordinator, very fiery guy. So what is he like as a coach? And is there any Dave Aranda stories that not a lot of people know about?
Coach Aranda is a really, really good guy, and I respect him as a coach and as a person. And he talks a lot about person over player and works on making us better men rather than just focusing on football. And I think that's something that's extremely important. And I think it helps bring the team together. It also helps us be better football players. And, we do stuff in the community. He's always working. He's always got activities for us to do, like team bonding stuff. And, I think that Coach Aranda's definitely got a good thing going.
We are talking to Baylor freshman offensive lineman Tate Williams, a friend of the show. We haven't spoken to him for 2 years. And that's why I told Speedy, when you get a chance, go reach out to some of the young recruits that we interviewed years and years ago and see how they're doing, because their future is starting to move forward. The COVID-19 situation has slowly disintegrated a little bit. Now, who knows? But all in all, I'm looking forward to the new football season. And hopefully maybe Baylor is one of those teams in the top 25 or top 15 that might have a chance to go into that playoff in one way or another. I mean, they've always been a good offensive team over the years, and The problem with them over the years in certain aspects is as the defense has fallen apart, and especially in the second half. Hopefully, as with a new coach and a new set of defensive players, that could change everything. So why don't we get into your team? And obviously going into the offseason, I think you're ranked. I think your team is. Where are they powered to be this year?
They ranked 5 at the end of last year.
No, what are they going? Going into next year? What are they? Are they in the top 15? I think they might be. I think Baylor is in the top 15. But looking at your team as a whole in the recruitment class, coaching, where do you see your team this year?
I think it really all depends on what we put together this summer, and then coming into fall camp. Rankings don't mean anything till you can show it on the field. I think this summer everybody's kind of put last season behind us, and everybody's working real hard this summer to be the best we can be. So overall plan for this next year is just come out and show the world that Baylor's a force to be reckoned with.
Does not look like they were top 15
going into this coming year.
Going into this season.
All right.
18.
Okay.
18.
Well, they're in the top 25,
yep.
and as you heard, Tate, it doesn't matter where you rank them, because we've seen teams be ranked 20th and 25th, and they go all the way in the top 5, top 4, and make the playoffs. AKA one team that did it this year, Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was going to say Cincinnati came in. I mean, nobody even looked at them.
Mm-hmm. I think they were 20 or 21st.
Right. So speaking of Cincinnati, your conference is getting an overhaul in the next couple of years. So you're going to be losing Texas and Oklahoma. They're going to the SEC, and now Cincinnati and Houston and BYU are coming in, and UCF. So, I mean, do you think this will help the conference out? Are you looking forward to the potential growth of this conference now, even though there's other ones that might be some of the powerhouses?
I mean, I think it's all. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, we play BYU on our schedule anyways. We played them last year, and that's a heck of a football team there. But everybody that's coming in, I think it's just a deal to make the Big 12 a bigger conference. They want to be up in the SEC status. So you pull some of these better teams in there, and in hopes that we can, I guess compete. Not really compete with them, because we compete with them, but just be on their level.
When you look at all the teams in college football right now, and obviously some of these players are making money, which I've been pleading for the last 5 years, that I think college ball players should be making money off their own name. What are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you're still a freshman. You still haven't started yet, but you're going to get your chance one way or another. That's why they brought you there to Baylor, a top school. Do you believe that players and young players should be getting paid for their names and what they have done to get to the position that they're in as a college football player?
I believe so, yes. I think it's, I think there's a line that's got to be drawn, specifically with high school guys. I don't think it should be used as a recruiting tool. But I think that once you get there, I think you should be able to profit off of your name. Being a college athlete, you can't run a business. You can't run a social media business, which is big now. Influencers are making a lot of money. But as being a college athlete, you can't take any of that from, YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, any of that. You can't. It was an NCAA rule. But now I think that opens a lot up. And, this hat I got on, I'm sponsored by this company. This buddy of mine in high school started this up, and he's doing pretty well off of it. And I think it's a good deal overall, just because it is a full-time job. We spend hours and hours of our lives and put our heart and soul into this, and why not be able to make a little bit off of your name? Whereas, I mean, you can't have a job outside, so you're living stipend check to stipend check with nothing extra to do.
So talk about that company, Double B Hat Company. You got the bull on that.
I like that
hat.
I like that hat.
Yeah, a little blue of Texas, because that's how Texas football usually ends up. But talk about that company, and maybe even some other NIL deals that you've been involved with, if you have any more already.
So this hat company here is a buddy of mine from high school. His name's Bryce Asher. And he started it up a few years ago, and I mean, usually selling just a few hats. And I mean, he's actually doing pretty well. 20,000 on Instagram now.
Good for him.
And sponsored a couple country artists, and he's doing pretty well for himself. And I'm happy for him. I've been working with him to help promote it and do all this. And made a lot of good friends through that. If you want to look him up on Instagram, it's your WB Hat Company. Good group of people. His family's great people. Never had issues with him. He's always treated me well, and actually, he just graduated high school this year. And,
Good for him.
And he's had this hat company going for 2 years now. So pretty entrepreneurial kid, and he's doing great with it.
Well, having somebody like you support what he does and what he's doing moving forward after graduating from high school and being an entrepreneur is the only way, to make successful money in these days. I mean, working for people just doesn't usually work, but obviously a person like you that is slowly but surely becoming a player and hopefully soon to be a star in Baylor, it could absolutely help his brand and move his brand into higher heights. So, as everybody knows, we are talking to Baylor freshman offensive lineman Tate Williams. Tate, what is it like, obviously playing on national TV and television? And Baylor's on national TV. They were on a couple of times on ESPN this year. They were on CBS a couple of times this year. What is it like? I know obviously you're not playing, but getting the chance to see your team have the opportunity to be on national TV and you being a player in the future to have a chance to do that. What is it like actually experiencing that?
Well, believe it or not, so I grew up on a cotton farm, West Texas, and, our harvest season is right in the middle of football season. So I'd get home from a high school game and, go straight to the farm in the morning and get to work. The first time I'd ever been to a college field was when I walked on the field during the summer after I showed up at Baylor, because we never got visits or anything like that because I was a COVID year recruit. So the first time I'd ever been to a college football game, I was in pads and the green and gold. But, it's actually a pretty surreal experience when you got, especially at home, we got 50,000 people screaming and hollering the whole time and cameras in your face. But it's a little intimidating at first, but, it turns into a lot of fun. And, us, just being on the sideline, I got to travel with the team for most of the games. And, there's a group of us that we were really just the hype man. I mean, we stood on the sideline and, if something goes bad, we keep the energy up on the sideline. And, I think just having that, especially with all the teammates that, weren't playing, there was probably 20 or 30 of us that would get together and just wave towels and get everybody excited and, kick off, punt return, whatever goes out, gets in the pit, get ready. I mean, we'll go over there and juice them up a little bit. And, it's a lot of fun. And, it actually made you feel like you were playing a part in something. And, especially just being a redshirt freshman last year, or just a redshirt last year. It's a lot of fun.
So you mentioned the farm. I just want to bring up this fun fact. I don't know if you know this, but Jordy Nelson was, when he was in the NFL, his family still made him do all the farm shifts that he was scheduled for during the offseason. Like, they would not let him miss it. And he did not miss a single one, even with all the money he got, all the stuff he had to do during his career. So just interesting you brought that up. So off the field so far in your time at Baylor, have you had any interesting experiences there so far? And if so, what are they?
Well, I actually just bought a house.
Wow, look at you.
Very nice.
Entrepreneur.
Just signed the papers today. Yes, sir.
Good for
Awesome.
you.
Gonna get stuff moved in this week. Gonna rent out some of the other bedrooms, and I live in one of them. And it's a 4-bedroom house, so it'll be a neat deal.
Man. Good for you. That's a great story. I being that you're 19 years old, 18 years old, and you own a house already. I don't own a house, and I'm 40. So, I mean, that's a sensational story. Good for you, man. When you hear stories like that, young kids doing that, some kids are just scared. They don't want to take that move, especially the way the economy is and what's going on in the world. People don't want to take that jump, but to see a young kid like you, 18 years old, taking a jump like that, that's a sensational story. Good for you, man. Absolutely crazy.
It kind of just makes sense. It's either you spend $700-800 a month,
right,
shoving it to a landlord.
Absolutely.
Or you scrape up enough money for a 10% down payment on something, and then that money you're spending every month is just investment back into yourself. So
smart kid, man. What do you go to school for?
Marketing and entrepreneurship.
There you go. There you go. Well, maybe you come. Maybe when you're done graduating, and if you're not in the NFL, which you probably will with your size and your ability, we'll set something up and you can market us. So what do you think about that?
Sound like a plan?
I think it sounds like a plan.